question again that you ask, I would like to answer it, then everybody can know that answer.
Yes, Rina. So the question was about profiling. It says identify at least 5 to 10 factors to profile each of the following: a real estate area, the area population, typical buyer in that area. So my question was, um, do we profile, number one, how do we profile, and when we profile, do we profile an area, for example, like Kensington, or an area, for example, like Joburg, which is quite vast, and then Kensington is more smaller than that.
Yeah, it is the suburb. It's like Kensington. So you work on the suburb because it's much easier. Well, actually, the suburbs differ from the one to the other as well. You know, the suburbs in the east will be different from the suburbs in the south. So you do it per suburb.
All right. Thank you very much.
Does that answer the question?
Then, yes, that answers the question. And when we profile, what do we how do we profile? What do we put in our answers?
Well, the profile is like the information that you will get from the area, that property 24, what is registered, what is in the market, that whole area, what you will get there. Maybe on Wednesday, I think we must redo a practical only with that, if it's fine with all of you. Then I'll show you, then I'll show you exactly how to do a full study on that, if we can do it Wednesday evening.
All right.
Is
Thank
that
you, Rina.
fine? Yeah.
Fine
Any
by
other
me.
questions? Yeah, any other questions so that you can at least try to move on with the activities? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Anything, please don't hesitate to contact me. Then I just want to, the calendar is going to change. I will put a new calendar up tomorrow. The reason for that is you will see on the 1.2 is communication, and 2.1 is mathematics. We realized that most of our groups will or might get exempted for those two modules. So that's why we're going to take it out to do now immediately. We will put it last in the course for training. That will help then that we can do the exemptions to Civisita to make sure that you don't have to do that, because it's like matric maths and matric communication. So we will concentrate more onto the real estate functions that is needed for now. Is that fine with everyone?
Yes, that is fine, Rina. Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because it's no use we do it now. I don't think it's going to work, really. Okay, then tonight we will go a little bit again into the legal part of the Real Estate Agency Affairs Board. And I want you to know this module, and please, this module, study it carefully. When it comes to the NQF4 exam at the Estate Agency Affairs Board itself, I can assure you that about 60% of all the questions will come out of this specific module. Because the code of conduct for them, it's very important. It describes exactly how we can operate and work. Also, with the new property practitioner bill, this will not really change a lot. There might be things coming in and added with, but it's not really going to change in such a way that it's going to affect us. But with the exam at the board, luckily it's an open book exam, so it's nothing serious to stress about, but you must put notes in here, and really this is a very, very important department. Okay, so the code of conduct. We all know what is a code of conduct. The current regulator is the Estate Agency Affairs Board, and Numisa did explain to us last week exactly how the changes from the Estate Agency Affairs Board will be with the new Property Practitioner Bill, and it is in the process of implementing, but currently it's still the Estate Agency Affairs Board, and we are still currently under the Estate Agency Affairs Act, and the Act was established in 1976 in terms of the Estate Agency Affairs Board regulation, with a mandate to regulate and control certain activities of estate agents in the public interest and for incidental matters. Okay, then there's 8 simple steps to register as an intern estate agent or an attorney or an employee. And remember that to get your full qualification for NQF4, you have to be registered with an estate agency company. If you have a problem with that, please call me and let's sort it out. We have a company and we can help you. We are also doing intern logbook training. Our agents will also come in Wednesday night for the training here at BMO for the logbook. So this will be really a very good experience for all of you. But please, this is very important. So as part of the Estate Agency Affairs Board statutory mandate and legislation, it is the requirement of all estate agents wishing to operate within the real estate property industry to be in possession of a Fidelity Fund certificate. We are going to the Estate Agency Affairs Board on the 2nd of September because the boards are closed till the 1st of September to register estate agents. The validity of a Fidelity Fund certificate is from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. So remember, if you register now, you must still pay that full amount of R529.80, and it will only be valid till the end of December. But in October, before the end of October, we have to again pay for your next year Fidelity Fund certificate. So it's a yearly certificate. Any person wishing to register as an estate agent for the first time must serve as an intern estate agent. The training as an intern estate agent is a little bit different from the NQF4 training, whereas in the year we will concentrate more onto the legislations and you will see how we're going on. Whereas in the logbook training, we concentrate more on the practical estate agent work, on how to do a listing and all those small nitty-gritty things that they have to do day by day. Okay, and also any person who wishing to register as an estate agent for the first time must serve as an estate agent, acting under an active supervision and control of a principal estate agent or a full status agent, or for a continuous period of 12 months as from the date of the first issue to such person of an intern Fidelity Fund certificate. But this is for 1 year. And you can do the intern estate agent together with your NQF4 qualification, what we do here. And I'll explain to that now. About the real estate qualification, it is a further educational training certificate. This is what we do. The professional designation is a professional designation exam, the PDE exam. This is an exam that you will write through the Estate Agency Affairs Board. So how are we going to work? Like Moses explained to you as well. You will need to have a profile. You must build up your profile. Your profile will be the practical, what we do here. And then with the theory that we do here, and the practical you will do with your at the estate agency company with your intern logbook. So about the real estate qualification, I know this is, we repeated several times, but it's based on the qualification description and requirements. The real estate qualification will be divided into 3 learning units. Now, this is the real estate platform, real estate legislation, and then the practice. The portfolio of evidence that you will have to compile. You will have a personal section, you will have an induction, performance and appraisals, product knowledge, selling, rental, self-development, law, finance, marketing, managing, administration, paralegal, marketing electives, and finance. So this is what is needed in your portfolio of evidence that you will submit. Now, the qualification alignment, the real estate qualification has 3 exit levels. Number 1, you have to analyze, evaluate, and apply the real estate code of conduct and ethics. You must demonstrate knowledge of the real estate environment, and you must perform the real estate function. Now, the performance of the real estate function, that is where your practical comes in at the estate agency company. And this is what you do with your estate agency company. This is the theory that we do here, and this is the sessions. So we, in total, will have to do 36 days, and then the others will be with the company. Learner support. Please remember that as this program is outcomes-based, this implies the following. You are responsible for your own learning. Make sure you manage your study, practical workplace and portfolio time responsibility. Oh my word, where's my tongue? Learning activities are learner driven, meaning that you will have to work quite a lot on your own, but we are there to assist you. Make sure you use the learner guide and portfolio guide in the manner intended and are familiar with the portfolio requirements. The facilitator is there to reasonably assist you during contact, practical, and workplace time of this program. Make sure that you've got our numbers, and I think you've got our numbers. Then the assessment. The assessment will be formative assessment, summative assessment. Formative assessment, we help the students to learn, identifies misconceptions in a timely way, incorporates feed forward, check areas for improvement, or summative identifies how much has been learned, generate marks, can be difficult to incorporate in module feedback, assess progress against goals. So formative is what you learn, summative is how you measure it. Any questions up to here?
Clear?
Is it all clear? Can I just ask, how many of you are registered or not registered? I don't know which one will be the lesser one with an estate agency company.
I'm not yet registered. This is Alex.
Alex, okay. So you're not yet registered. Is there anybody else?
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, so we must just get you. Pardon?
Or saying Abongile here also not registered.
Okay, but we will sort out that registration at some time. So it's not arranged much today. Okay, the code of conduct. Estate agents in South Africa have to abide by the code of conduct regulated by the Estate Agency Affairs Board in terms of the Estate Agents Affairs Act. Now there's a group activity. Are you happy with your groups, or can we shuffle the groups a little bit between the activities? How do you feel about it?
I'd like to keep my group.
So you prefer your group?
Yes, please.
Yes, we're good to know each other and how we work. So I think we're good.
Okay, so we're going to keep the groups. We're not going to change the groups. If anybody's not in a group, please just WhatsApp me and let's see how can we group them you together then. The facilitator will divide you. Yes.
Okay, it's Abongile here. Just on the registration issue we just talked about. I was under the impression that for one to register, they must first complete the qualification, this training that we're busy with now, which is what we're going to present to the real estate agency. And now I hear you say we can be registered even if we have not yet completed the qualification. Could you kindly clarify that for me?
Yes. Now, you actually have to register with an estate agency company prior to this. But you can do it concurrent with this because you've got the logbook that you have to compile and you have to have this NQF4 that you have to compile. It's not identical, but it's the same information vice versa. Plus, the logbook, there is more practical work in the logbook than it's here. It's more the theory work.
Okay. Okay.
Like for in case my last training with the logbook training was I trained them exactly how to list a property, what to do about listing a property.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do for Wednesday night is like you are now busy with the areas and how to do that research on an area. And that is something they also must do now. And that's why I thought, let me bring them in with you. Then you can see what I'm doing with them as well. Because you will need it in your own assignments, activities.
Okay, all right. No, thank you, Rin.
Okay, but Abogile, just contact me and then I can clarify if there's any more questions that you've got.
No problems, will do. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, although this is a group activity and it's like you have to discuss it, I think in your groups, you must also divide. You are more than 3 people in a group, isn't it? 3 or more?
We are 3.
No, only
okay.
3 groups.
All 3. Okay. So what I would suggest is one person must be for the code of conduct. The other person must be against the code, and the other person must be neutral. So each group will do the same, but in the group you will have the differences of exactly what you feel. So each group will have at least 20 minutes to prepare. We are not going to ask you to prepare prior. If you want to, we can do this live. It's not a problem, but you must also do this by handwritten, and you must get all the information. So if the person who's for the code must give the written information to the others so that your portfolio is complete on that one.
Hi, Rina.
Yes, I hear.
It's Kani here.
Yes, Kani.
In our group, we are just missing one person, which is Mr. Edwin. We are failing to get hold of him. I don't know if he's attending today.
Edwin, are you here? Bridget, are you here?
I don't think we have Edwin here.
He's not in here.
Bridget, will you please say?
It's just me and the Makat, so then we're just 2 in the group now.
Victor, are you here? Victor, are you in a group now? I think I saw somewhere Victor was looking for a group. Is Victor in?
Victor's not in.
Bridget, please take note there so that we can see if we can't get somebody else in there for their group, please.
Yeah, it's noted.
Okay. Any other problems or questions?
Sorry, Rina. I don't know if it's just me, but I think you're breaking up quite a lot, and it's causing us to miss certain things of what you say.
Am I? Does anybody else also have that problem with me?
No, you're fine on my side.
We can hear you clearly.
I'm also fine.
Okay.
We can hear you, Rina.
Okay, because I'm just trying to see if I can put, yeah, the slides are all, everything is done. It's down. Okay, any other questions also regarding this activity 20? I just want to mention something else. The total activities for this full course, it's 222 activities. So that is why it's very important to what Moses said, is that please don't get behind, because if you get behind, it's going to be a headache to catch up again. But it's short activities. We'll it's not. Pardon?
Or say I'm going to push.
Yeah, you can just push, and you know what? It's so nice because there's a lot that's in the group. So obviously you must get all the information in the group. You mustn't do it yourself. You share the information. So it's very, very important to work together in the groups. Okay, so all right. Each group will have 20 minutes to prepare themselves. So that we will say each person in the group will have 20 minutes to prepare themselves. But that is in your own groups. And then you must prepare a 5-minute argument in favor of a code of ethics and an argument against a code of ethics. And group 3 must prepare at least 3 critical questions that they will ask for each person to understand the viewpoint better and possible to convince in their favor. Group 3, together with the facilitator's input, will appoint the winning group. But that is something that you can then discuss in yourself. Is this clear? Any questions? Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So a group will appoint a person who is going to do a presentation or what? How is this going to be? Yeah. Yeah.
In your groups, let's just go back. In your group, you are 3 people in the group. One
That's
person,
correct.
Yeah, one person of conduct. The other person will be against a code.
So, Rina, we missed you there for a moment. You say one person does what?
Will be for a code, the code of ethics. Yes. Mm-hmm. And the other person will be against a code of ethics. Mm-hmm. And then the other person will be neutral. So the neutral person will, what they will do is, while the other 2 now agree and disagree, they will at least prepare 3 critical questions to ask each group. And then that 3rd person can decide who's the winning group.
Okay. Then these decisions, where will it be happening? Will it be happening during the class, or is it going to be happening in the group on WhatsApp?
It will happen between you, the group on WhatsApp, or how you do it. And then you will just write like a memo on this whole thing, and you put that into your evidence.
All right.
Because that is the activity 20. My suggestion is that you must write down the question, the activity, And then just behind that, you give your answer.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions on this one, on the Code of Ethics? Okay. Estate agents, I don't know why they keep on repeating this. I think it's because it's quite important. Have to abide by the Code of Conduct regulated by the Estate Agency Affairs Board. Okay, by the Estate Agency Affairs Board in terms of the Estate Agency Affairs Act. Estate agents' general duty to protect the public's interest. That is, you know, and normally you are working for the person who appoints you. If you work for the seller, because the seller gave you the mandate to sell his property, but in some instances, in a big company, one agent can have the mandate to sell the property, and another agent can have a mandate from the buyer to find properties for him. So you can also split commission that way. And on the other note is that it depends for whom are you working and who's going to pay you your commission. Normally it's the seller that pays the commission, so normally we work for the seller. But you have to be open with anything on that property that can come up. And that is also something that I'm going to share on Wednesday night, is some documentation and information that's not really written in the training material as it is, but I think it will be very good for you to have it. An estate agent shall not in the code of his business do or omit to do any act which is contrary to the integrity of estate agents in general, shall protect the interest of his clients at all times to the best of his ability, shall not in his capacity as an estate agent willfully or neglectedly fail to perform work or duties with such degree of care and skill as might reasonably be expected of an estate agent, shall comply with both the Act and the regulations promulgated thereunder, shall not deny equal service to any person for reason of race, creed, sex, or country of national origin, shall not discriminate against a prospective purchaser of immovable property on the grounds that such purchaser will not or is unlikely to make use of financial assistance made available by a specific person or financial institution and which the estate agent offers to arrange on his behalf. And I can just tell something about this last one, is not to discriminate against a prospective purchaser. Please, people, if a purchaser approaches you and he comes with a bicycle, don't think he cannot pay. In some instances, that is the person who can pay. Because if they really got a lot of money, they don't want to show it. It's something that, you know, you must never take anybody off how does he look or how does he appear, because that doesn't mean that he cannot pay. So one must be very, very discreet on that and never discriminate against anybody if they request you to purchase a property. This module, you will see it's full of activities. So this is the Fidelity Fund Certificate. Again, in your groups, you are required to review the regulations 633 and determine the following. I think that regulation, Numisa has put it on the group last week. Did you all get it? Any questions? Okay. Under which conditions would a Fidelity Fund certificate be issued? What are the educational and workplace requirements that must be met before a Fidelity Fund certificate can be issued? And why is a Fidelity Fund certificate important? Can anybody just out of thumbs up tell me why is a Fidelity Fund certificate important? Nampila, I see that you want to talk to me. Patricia? Dimakatsu? Nobody listening. Am I alive?
Yes,
Can
you're
hear
alive.
you,
You're alive.
Rina.
You're
I'm
alive.
not
We can.
sure.
We can hear you.
Okay. Alex, you want to try? Why is the Fidelity Fund certificate important?
Yes, let me give it a try. I think it is when you are fully qualified as an estate agent to receive a certificate, a fidelity certificate to say that you are legit and that you can practice as an estate agent.
Okay, I'll give you 40%. No, let me explain to you. It's a joke. Let me explain to you a Fidelity Fund certificate. The moment you register with an estate agency company, even if you just start like in today, you will get a Fidelity Fund certificate. But at the Estate Agents Affairs Board, to qualify for a Fidelity Fund certificate, you must only have matric. That's all. Doesn't matter if it's matric in lower grade. Doesn't matter. As long as it's a matric certificate, you can register as an estate agent. Then on that certificate, you've got two numbers. The one is your yearly registration number. I think I'll show you how a certificate look on Wednesday as well. And then you get your own individual number that they call the F number. Now the F number, it's like your student number. If you get that number issued once, and it will stay on your name, and that is the number that you use for any payments, for any inquiries, for any exams. That is the number that you use. The reason why you register for a Fidelity Fund certificate is the moment you are registered under that certificate, you are under the trust account of the Estate Agents Affairs Board. Say, for instance, something happens financially with a company or with a client that's not happy, then you are covered by the estate agent's insurance, especially the trust accounts. If some money is gone or miscalculated or whatever, it's not commission. I want to state it very clearly. It's not commission. Then the Estate Agents Affairs Board covers you with the insurance policy. Is that any questions on that one?
Irina, we lost you just on your closing phrase of your statement. We could not hear you properly. Could you just please repeat that?
Okay, what I'm saying. Yeah, just repeat. What did I say? I'm talking out of my head now.
Yes, you can go ahead and just rephrase what you just said.
Yes. If you've got your Fidelity Fund certificate, then you are covered under the Estate Agents Affairs Board insurance policy. So if there's any claim against you, you can be covered under that insurance policy, especially, say for instance, a trust money was lost or things like that. Then a seller can claim from the fund if something went wrong. So that is the main reason why we say you have to, well, apart from the fact that it's law, you have to register as an estate agent with the Estate Agents Affairs Board. Any questions on this activity?
So this fidelity fund certificate it sort of serves as an insurance, just to guard in case if something goes wrong.
Yeah. And also, if you have that certificate, you have to be you have to abide by the code of conduct and the acts. So that also covers the sellers and the buyers to know that they know that you are registered, because then you are qualified. And on the other note is that if you are not registered, you are by law not entitled on claim commission.
All right, thank you.
Any questions? Okay, now the Fidelity Fund claims. Can you provide examples for each of the instances where the Fidelity Fund payments do not apply? Can you provide at least 5 examples where the board is allowed to take legal steps against an estate agent? If the Fidelity Fund certificate has been withdrawn, can the agent still continue working for an estate agent in other capacity? Provide reasons for your answers. What evidence would the board require for a Fidelity Fund payment to be authorized? Let's take one question, and it's a group activity, but let's do one for you. Can you provide at least 5 examples where the board is allowed to take legal steps against an estate agent? Patricia, are you there?
Yes. I joined you very
just
late.
Guess. No, just guess. Yes, Tamsak.
What is the question again? I'm on the road actually, so I'm actually on the road. So what is the question again?
Okay, the question is, can you provide at least 5 examples, but you can only do one, where the board is allowed to take legal steps against an estate agent? Can you remember Pam Golding a few months ago? It was not even a year ago. There was a... Pardon?
Rena, can I give one?
Yes.
Maybe for an estate agent operating without the Fidelity Fund certificate.
Yeah, but if an estate agent operates without a Fidelity Fund certificate, then the board cannot actually do much against them, and the seller cannot also claim against them, because the seller must make sure that he's working with a qualified estate agent.
Okay, I think I've gathered my mind. Rina.
Okay.
Yes, there was an instance when I was buying my first house in Limpopo, the Louis Trichardt town. The estate agent, they sold the house. I was buying land, and the estate agent made a misrepresentation. I paid a lot of money for what I believe was 1,500 square meter stand, because it was a huge land, only to find out that they sold me 500 square meters. So when I reported, the board took action against the estate agent, and I was refunded, and the ownership was also cancelled.
Yes.
Reversed.
That I can just mention is the reason why they could cancel it is because you can prove that that seller was supposed to know that it was wrong. And yes, the estate agent made a misrepresentation, and then that time frame for them to cancel a contract is normally 2 years. So within a 2-year bracket, they can cancel it. It's a very good example.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I didn't know that it actually happens, but the board actually came through for us. We didn't pay a cent and everything was reversed.
Yeah. So misrepresentation, that's why I say on Wednesday night, I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you, because you must now think as an estate agent, and it's so important to cover yourself up, not to make a misrepresentation. Yeah. Matsidishu, you said you want to say something?
Yeah, I think it was actually along those lines of misinterpreting, maybe hiking up your costs, putting them way above maybe the allowable margins that an estate agent can charge.
Yeah. Well, an estate agent, there is, although it's not law, on a residential ordinary house, the norm is 7.5%. So you can play around with 7.5%. And if it's vacant land, you can go up to 10%. Commercial, also up to 10%, but it depends on the selling price. It can come down to 3%. It depends on your company policy. They are allowed to go down. It depends on the company that you're registered with. Normally we say, talk to the principal, make sure that you can come down. You know, if it's a property that you really work hard on and that you've got a sell mandate and you paid a lot of advertising cost, then we try not to come down on the commission. Because you must remember, and that is sometimes people say that, oh, you estate agent makes a lot of money. It's not the truth, because remember, you will advertise maybe 10 properties and you might sell one. But you work on 10 properties, you go out to 10 properties, you answer calls and you make calls for 10 properties. But you only get commission for that one property. So meaning you have to make up the cost for all the properties.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And yes. Alex, was it you? There's someone who wants to talk.
No, Rena?
Yes.
Yeah. I think just off a bit from this topic, but I think it's also related to this. I remember in the first week, when was it last week? Yeah, when we were talking about the profiling of an area, and I posed a question that when profiling an area, is it collecting information which you are obliged to share with the client? You have promised that you are going to share with us what kind of information which you as a state agent you are allowed to share and one that you are not allowed to share. Is that information still coming up?
Yes, I'm gonna try Wednesday night. We're gonna take a contract, and then I will tell you in the contract what you have to share with the client and what we don't share. So the only thing that you don't have to share is actually the boundaries of a property, but not the boundaries what Patricia was mentioning, where it's so much smaller. So that was a misrepresentation, but in fact, the exact boundaries of a property, we are not obliged to share it, and it stands in the contract.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Yes. So, another
and the person.
Another area where the board can take legal steps against an estate agent is, remember, with rental properties, you've got deposits in your trust account, and you're not allowed to use that deposit for anything except bank fees with the bank takes. And if you use that money for anything else, doesn't matter for what, they can withdraw your certificate, your registration. Another one is when you must remember every year, the end of June, you have to submit your audit reports through your auditor. If that's not done timelessly, they can also withdraw your certificate.
Oh, yeah.
Any
Sorry,
questions?
Rina, you're breaking up. We didn't get that.
I say, if an estate agent does not submit their audit reports by the end of June every year through their auditor, then the board can also take legal action. There's normally a fine paid, and it's a big story to get yourself back on track again. So you have to submit the audit reports.
All right.
Any other questions? If you look at this activities, is there any questions that you would like to ask? Okay, the definition of a client. Who is a client? A client is a person whose mandate has first been accepted by the estate agent, is regarded as the estate agent's client. In practice, estate agents obtain mandates not only from sellers of immovable property, but also from prospective purchasers. If a purchaser contacts you, even if they call on another property and you know that property has been sold and you show them something else, they can give you a mandate. But what I normally do with purchasers, because otherwise we will run up and down on the road with purchasers and you don't know if they're going to buy yes or no. So you qualify your purchasers. We've got a bond originator. So you contact the bond originator and say, there is a purchaser, get all the information and check for how much can they purchase. Because sometimes a purchaser can think either too big or too small. And if you know maybe he can qualify for 2 million, but he wants to buy for 1.5, you know for sure you will not have a problem to get a bond for that person. And that is very important, and you are not also going to run up and down with a client. It will be impossible for the estate agent to equally protect the interest of both the seller and the purchaser, since their interests clearly conflict. But since this training material was written by Servicita, there was new laws that came in, and the Consumer Protection Act is one big law that's, in the beginning we fight against that law, but now we work around it. So it's so much easier to act in both parties' interest, because you do everything in writing. So you have to have a mandate. In that mandate, we call it, we've got a snag list or a fault list, where you sit down with the seller, and we always say, let the seller complete it, because then it's in his handwriting, and then it takes the onus from your shoulders. And let you say, yes, there's roof leaks, or there's cracks in the wall, or whatever can come up. Let them write down, is it going to take out the trees? What is it going to take away? Let you write it down there. If he did not write anything down, he's not allowed to take anything. Moral of the story, because that is a list that when you go with a purchaser through a property, you say to the purchaser, sir, this is the property. The seller is going to take X, Y, Z, the rest is going to stay. And that covers you so much up and helps you to act on both parties' interest. Any questions? Okay, a mandate. What is a mandate? A mandate is defined either as an instruction to render an estate agency service, or an authority, a power of attorney, to both render and perform the service. And the estate agent who simply asks a seller whether or not his property is for sale should never assume that he has a mandate. In respect of the property, if the seller answers in the affirmative without giving any further indication that the estate agent may market the property. Remember, if the seller does not give you a mandate in writing, it makes life for you very difficult, because when it comes to the signature of the contract, this can say, but you know, I'm not going to pay you that commission. Then it's a commission issue. The percentage of the commission. How much does he want in his pocket? If the mandate was in writing, that will not be a problem, or it will not be any discussion, or lead to maybe an argument on the commission. We always say you never kill a transaction with commission. Any questions? Because that mandate must stipulate the full rules, regulation, and condition of the seller. Now, the types of mandates. This is very important, please, and you have to take note of this. An open mandate. What is an open mandate? An open mandate is open to any party to sell. This is just, we can actually call it a permission to sell. Only the selling party will be entitled on commission. So if 20 agents has got an open mandate on that property and one is selling, only the selling party is entitled on commission. A sale mandate. And you must make note that sale mandate and sale and exclusive mandate is a big difference. The sale mandate is the owner pick an estate agent to give the sale permission to sell to. That agent can sell the property. No other agent plus the owner can sell. If the owner sells, he does not have to pay commission to the agent. So it's either the owner or one specific agent that can sell that property. A sale and exclusive mandate means that it's only that agent that can sell that property. Not even the owner can sell that property. So if you've got a board up at a house and a buyer passes the house and he knocks on the door and the owner wants to sell that property, he must pay you commission. He must call you and say, please come and sign this contract because there is a buyer. And that is something that can undermine you in a sale mandate, because with a sale mandate, with your board up there, if a buyer comes around and he knocks on the door, you have to prove that he comes in with your board. And that, to go to court, it's too costly. And then you get a share mandate. A share mandate means it's two agencies and they share that mandate. So meaning that whoever sells, the commission will get split 50-50. Any questions on mandates? No questions?
No question.
No questions. Okay. No estate agent shall offer any immovable property for sale or to let or negotiate in connection therewith unless he has been given a written mandate. We went through this and I explained this whole slide already. Okay. In short, about a mandate, make sure that whatever the conditions the seller wants to address has been written down in writing, full names and contact numbers of the sellers, full property description, net price the seller would like to see in his pocket. That is important. Never write the selling price down. You can work the selling price out later on, depending on the price the seller wants. The period of the mandate. You can say there till it's sold. If it's a sale and exclusive mandate, then on that sale and exclusive mandate, you have to have a specific date. if a property is in a sectional title development, the rules and regulations of that development must also be attached. And please, you must take note of this. The levies. Body corporates ask for levies. You must make sure for what do you pay that levy? What is covered by that levy? And what is the amount of that levy? You know, there was a court case quite a few years ago where an estate agent did not put the levy in the contract. They didn't tell the purchaser there's a levy. They assume the purchaser will know there's a levy because it's in a security estate. Because it's normal for in a security estate to have a levy. The purchaser went to court and that estate agent landed up paying that levy every month till that seller sells his property. And that the court rules against the estate agent. So it's not common law for a purchaser to know what is the amount of levy. The copies of the seller's IDs, it's the same as FICA. Proof of res of the sellers, municipality account of the property in process of selling. That is so much important, especially nowadays with people in arrears, or if you want to sell a flips property, where we must know exactly what is the outstanding amount of the municipality, because, and also if a property is in possession, you must know, because if it's in possession, then the purchaser pays that municipality account. And some instances, I've seen municipality accounts 300,000-400,000 easy in arrears. Don't know how, but they do get it that way. Do a proper valuation report before you list the property on your website. There is a difference in valuation if you are currently a landlord of a property in the market for sale or to let. Now, part of Wednesday will be this valuation. How do you value a property? Yes. Is there anything else that you would like to know about this?
Rina, under
Yes.
point 4, in terms of the period of the mandate, is it against any law where you find that the seller does not read? You know, sometimes people take chances and then you do say till the end of the mandate. But now the seller wants to cancel the contract and never saw that part because you are failing to sell the property.
If you fail to sell a property, now this is something very interesting and I can show it to you. It's in the Consumer Protection Act. Any contract, and really any contract, can be cancelled with a 2 months prior notice. If the seller can prove that you are not doing your job, maybe you've signed the mandate today and in a month's time you did not even advertise it or whatever the reason is, then he can cancel your mandate. He's entitled to cancel the mandate. So, yeah, you can cancel the mandate.
Thank you.
Rina, I've got a question as well. This the mandate, is it also the same types of mandates when someone is giving over his property to an agent to get tenants to rent?
Yeah, it is just a different type of mandate, but it's similar. It's to give you permission to let your property, to let the property out, or you must get tenants for them. Yes, it's the similar type of idea, but it's a different document.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. So it's very important to read the contracts. What I normally do, as I complete the mandate in front of the seller, is to read it for him so that he knows what is standing in your contract or the mandate, and that will also covers you up. And just to come back on the mandate, what happened to me at one time, it was a very big estate agency company in Pretoria North had a mandate on a property, actually a rental mandate and a selling mandate. The rental mandate, it was their tenants in the property, so they refused me access. And they contacted me and they say, yes, they've got a mandate, a sale mandate on the property. I asked them, please send me through your sale mandate on the property, and which they did. I went to the owner and I said to the owner, okay, number one, I cannot get access to the property. Please give me the copy of the mandate. So the owner gave me the copy of the mandate that they've got, where the agent did not sign that copy yet. That mandate was originally for 3 months, and it lapsed the end of the June that year, and my client wanted to see the house the August. So meaning my head told me there was no mandate. Then I realized that the address, the owner is staying on one property, and this is now the rental property that I'm selling. The address that was on the mandate was the owner's house address where they're staying, not the rental address that I want to sell. I requested the owner, what is the problem here? Because now I'm going to sell a property that is not listed. That's it's not the same property that I want to sell. Then the owner said to me, the agent emailed them the mandate, empty mandate, and she completed it at work. She was so busy, she did not realize that she's putting her home address on that mandate. The agent did not realize it's a wrong address. They went and they extended the dates on the mandate till end of October. And you know what? I've sold that property, and there could not be any claim for commission, because that mandate was, number one, not personally completed. They did not talk to the owner properly, explain that mandate, and it was wrongly addressed. So it's so much important for you to do it handwriting in front of the seller, and make sure that all the information that must be on that mandate is written into that mandate. Any questions? Okay.
Looks like we're good.
Yes, activity 23 is also still mandate. This is an individual activity. Scenario 1, John wants to buy a house and has seen a place he's interested in. The agent takes him to view several properties, including the one that he likes. John is then also shown a few properties by another agent, which also includes the property he liked. John decides to buy the property and sign the contract through the second agent. Does that fact that the first agent showed John the property first automatically